All right, hello. Welcome back to NickTalks. I'm sorry for any camera shakiness. I have this set up on kind of iffy setup on my desk here. So if I touch the desk, it's gonna shake a little bit. So I apologize in advance for that. But Happy New Year, everybody. Merry Christmas as well. Happy holidays, all that. Rest in peace to Betty White. Heard she passed away yesterday. That is pretty actually tragic. I had to pour one out for her. Just to what a legend. Truly goated. But today I wanted to talk about living experience focused. So it's kind of in the same vein, or I would say almost identical to, being for the journey instead of the destination. So you can either live to where your satisfaction comes from completing the journey, and I think there always will be some kind of satisfaction that comes from completing the journey, but you can either live for that gratification, the completion, the success, or you can live for the journey to getting there. And I think in order to be truly in love with life, you have to kind of come to terms with the fact that you're never gonna have enough. It's never gonna be, no matter what your goal is, once you reach it, that feeling of gratitude and euphoria is only going to last for so long. But if you love the process, it's you could do that forever. You could do that forever and continuously experience the reward all the time instead of just when you finally do something. So, that's kind of like more of the life philosophy and goal aspect. But for me personally, it's not so much like living the journey and not the destination, but just being very focused on your experiences and taking that down to as small of a detail as you can. So when I get a drink that I've never tried, or any drink, it can go either way for something new or something old, but to fine tune how you feel about whatever you're experiencing. A new drink, a new meal, an old meal, a movie, a song, anything, and just really digging deep into what you feel about it and why you feel that way about it. And to me, that kind of really draws you into understanding the very small aspects of life that you definitely appreciate, but you kind of don't really notice. When I eat, even if it's my favorite restaurant, if I eat there, I'm just kind of talking and eating and boom, 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 it's over. But if you really think about all of the flavor that comes with every bite and mixing flavors and trying it with a drink and seeing how that all tastes, it just changes things a lot. It's like if you've seen Ratatouille, the Pixar movie, I believe, when he samples the strawberry, and it's like a dance of color and red light, and then he tastes the cheese, and it's a different kind of tone, and then he eats them together, and it changes completely. It's the same concept, really. But I think, from my experience, because I've always been more detail oriented than anything. And so it kind of something that has come naturally to me. But as I've realized how important it is to me, I realize that it's a skill. That understanding what you are experiencing is not a natural trait, it's a skill. And so you can, just like any skill, you can develop it further. So, like anything that you eat or consume at all, you can dig deeper into what you think about it, why you think that, and even identify objective traits that, like identifying flavor can be a subjective game and an objective game. Meaning, I can identify how I emotionally feel with or about whatever I'm eating, but then I can also say like, oh, it objectively has traces of these flavor notes, and this is how they combine together, and that's more of like that's what, identifying my emotional connection and identifying, what it really is in front of me, because they can be two very different things in my opinion. Like I can love a song and then objectively think it's a bad song, not good. I can objectively think that a meal is very good, but not enjoy it personally. Like the way that the flavors complement each other, but I just don't like those flavors. That's a me thing, not the food's problem. And I think that learning how to better understand and appreciate whatever you are experiencing, because I've been thinking about it a lot leading up to this video, and I think that I think that it changes your memory, or your depth of memory of a situation or of an event. 2, I think that it kind of makes you appreciate the little things. Because if I can identify tiny factors that make me like something or make me more drawn to something, there's only so many things that exist in the world, and that's ever expanding, but like there's only so many flavors that I can taste. There's only so many sounds that I can hear. And so you can kind of cross-reference a little bit. So it helps, it's like the same thing. If I learn how to sew really well, and then I become a master leather worker, I don't know. The point is, I'm losing it a little bit. The point is when you learn a skill, a lot of times what you learn with that skill, when you become masterful, transfers to other areas. And so, learning a lesson here can help you over here, even if the two subjects are not entirely correlated. So therefore, if you understand what you enjoy and understand how to enjoy things deeper, that's going to transfer to everything. That's going to, anything that you experience, which is a shower, brushing your teeth, going to the mall, going to work, the more that you can dig deep into detail and experience and understand what's going on, it changes everything. And I think it improves your memory, because when you really truly understand something, you have no problem recollecting about it. If I was learning complex mathematics and I truly understood, so basically, they say you don't understand anything until you can explain it to a 6-year-old. So say you get to that level where you can explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't have to remember it anymore. It's muscle memory. Your brain already knows how to fire in that sequence to where you can recall exactly what you're trying to recall. So if I go on a vacation that's 2 days long and I dig deep into my experiences of every second of those 2 days, and I dissect everything that I experience, everything that I see and hear and smell and taste, I'm going to have a very deep understanding of what happened on that vacation, and I'm going to remember it completely well because I can tell you what that bakery on the corner smelled like when I took a taxi from here to there, from my hotel to the beach. I could remember what that ceviche tasted like at this specific restaurant, Peruvian restaurant. Sure. So I don't have to like try hard to remember it because I've already done the difficult work of understanding it. I do believe that you can retroactively recall details, but it's much more difficult than identifying the details in the beginning. And I don't know if I can really trust retroactive memory all that much, because it kind of seems like it's the further away you are from that event, the easier it is for your mind to kind of just fill in the blanks. And then, I could remember something in great detail that I've pulled the details out later and then talk to someone who was there and they're like, yeah, that didn't happen at all. And that, maybe somebody heard someone say something differently, or they remember events differently. The further you get away, the more different the story becomes. And it's something that has really changed my, because I've always been more detail oriented, but identifying that and pursuing that has really changed the way that I appreciate life and the way that I experience life. And the fact that I can have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day, same peanut butter, same jelly, but I can experience it differently every day by digging deeper and deeper and deeper into how it tastes, how it feels, and how it makes me feel emotionally. That's crazy. I can, that opens up the opportunity for what you can experience to infinite. Because if I can experience the same thing nearly infinite amount of times, then imagine tweaking one detail. If I have pizza and I eat the same pizza every day, or every time I get pizza, I can experience it differently every time. Now, what if I change what kind of meat or what kind of cheese or what kind of sauce is on there, or even just a little seasoning? It changes everything. The combination of details is completely different now. It's like changing one number on a bike lock. Now the whole combination is different. All the permutations of that lock are completely different. So that for me has been extremely huge in how I can experience everything, and what I can learn from life and how I can apply it, which I think is very, very key for me. Also, something that I wanted to mention about this channel is I currently am in no way wealthy or famous. In no way. I mean, I have like a lot of friends and I am not starving. So, I'm not like super poor and I'm not super unpopular, but I, by means of internet fame or even just fame in general and worldwide wealth, not the case here, which is kind of why I wanted to start this now, because it's, I've always been very interested in celebrities. Not so much recently, but as a kid, I always looked to actors and actresses and famous singers and things, and you look at them and it's like Like they're not even human almost. Like there's something different. Something makes them different than me. And that's why they're there and I'm here. You know, that's why they have a ton of money and fame and power, and I am growing up in a tiny little town in Michigan. But as I've grown up more and looked more at what life is and meeting new people and experiencing new things, you kind of realize that they're not different. And they're just humans. And although every human being is, you know, a completely different world, we're all the same. And so that means fundamentally that if they can do it, anybody can do it. Now the problem with that, not with that, but the issue is that every time I hear a celebrity talk about their story and they say, oh, I was, you know, poor, living on the street, I was homeless, I didn't eat for 10 years, whatever, some crazy story about how they came to where they are now. It's like, oh wow, how inspiring. But then it's like, I don't believe you. You know, that may be true. I'm guarantee it's true. But now seeing where you're sitting and hearing it after the fact, it's like, okay. So you never really see the change. You never really see someone become more and fulfill some part of their grand potential or realize their dreams unless you're sitting next to them. So I believe that the only reason people get famous is either A, they're born into it, or B, they go for it. And so, yes, it is possible to fail your ascension to either wealth or fame, because those are two very different things. And you can be famous without being wealthy, and you can be wealthy without being famous. But in either situation, it's a classification of success. And you always hear about it after the fact. So, given my fundamental belief that, that every human being is made to create and give something to the world. Meaning that if you strive towards success in the correct way, you play the hand that you were dealt, the cards that you have, and find a way to create and give and brighten the world in your way, in a way that makes you feel aligned and connected and congruent with what you believe, I think it's impossible for you not to become wealthy, and if you so choose, to become famous. You know, if you just want to build money and you never want people to know who you are, you can do that. If you just want to be famous and you don't really want money, you can do that. If you want to be both, you can do that. So my plan with this channel is to somewhat test that theory, to be as intelligent as I can in pursuing. I'm not, you know, I'm not super into fame personally, but I understand that money helps. And I'm not very materialistic, but money increases the amount of options that you have at your disposal. And from a survival standpoint, that's never a bad thing. Of course, you know, I'm saying this modestly, like I wouldn't like very nice cars and a nice house and great clothes. Sure. That kind of comes with the territory, but I'm more about just like, I want to live free, where I want to be able to choose what I do and not, you know, like I don't have to go to my job because I need to pay bills, I need to eat. I want to go to my job because I want to, because I like it, because I chose it or created that job. So this channel is kind of the beginning of my scientific testing of the theory that given a long enough timeline and with purpose and intelligence and freedom, it can be done for anybody. Anybody can accomplish their dreams and do what they are called to do, what they feel that they want to do, whatever that is. And the only way to do that is to do it. The only way to get there is to push. And so even if this fails, I have many avenues of attempting to reach some level of wealth and maybe consequently fame. But I would just rather be able to pay my bills comfortably. But I think it's possible. And if I can do it, I'm not going to elaborate on my circumstances right now because I'm in them right now. But slowly, as I move through this channel and as I get more comfortable, and if things take off, then I would be much more willing to share where I've come from and my situation right now, because it's not going to be an easy road. It's not going to be just handed to me. It's something I'm going to have to work towards. Meaning that it's possible for anybody. Because if I can do it, just being me, then that means that anybody can do it. And that's kind of what I'm setting out to prove. So that, I don't figure it out and then 5 years down the line, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I was like this, and this, and it was so hard, and now I'm here. Yeah, who cares? What's going to be important is that I have video evidence that I was where I am now, and I can reach where I plan on being in the future. So I thank you for joining me on the journey, and thank you for any support. And we'll kind of test the laws of reality here, because if I can achieve this, that opens a lot of doors to other theories that I can test and prove. Because I kind of see myself as like a life scientist. Philosopher, modern philosopher is one thing, but they just kind of think, in my opinion. I think, but I have theories about how things work on the deeper levels of reality and consciousness. And I test my hypotheses and try to prove them if they're true. And this is one of them. So this will be very interesting. This is episode 2 of the vlog. So very beginning stages, and we'll see how it goes. But comment below what you think about it being experience focused and living detail oriented, or becoming detail oriented, and how, if that's something that resonates with you, tell me your experiences and what you think about that, and then what you think about the concept that anybody can make it, anybody can become wealthy, anybody can build fame, anybody can achieve success. Because if that's true, then if I can prove that here, then that eliminates any excuses that anybody has. Because I can tell you right now that where I'm sitting in my situation, it doesn't seem possible emotionally, but logically and hopefully, it seems inevitable. So if I can prove what I think and what I've just talked about, then nobody that watches this can ever tell themselves or tell anybody else that they can't make it. And I think that would be a beautiful thing. So we'll see. We'll see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, if I fail miserably and you never hear from me again after a couple more videos, and you'd be like, oh, okay, he was wrong. That goofy guy just couldn't make it, which means I guess nobody else can. Or I guess it's different for everybody, maybe. I don't know. Because if I can't make it, that does not mean that nobody else can, but that does mean that there are some things I don't understand. So we'll see. Best of luck to everyone out there. Again, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. truly sad about Betty White. That was pretty tragic. I couldn't believe it. 18 days before she was going to turn 100 years old. What a milestone. But life happens. You can't, nothing lasts forever. Change is the only thing that doesn't change. So we'll just have to be grateful for the time she was here. Wish everybody luck, and we'll see how things go. Nick out.